Chapter 20. I could still hear the whippoorwill. I could still see, but I couldn't move my eyes or blink. I was staring at a shelf of books. Hocus Pocus and Other Rhyming Incantations. Enemy Spells. Revenge Made Easy. Love Potions for Reluctant Lovers. Hex, the Complete Book of Wart Removal. Mistress Ominoro's Remedies for Everything. Oh, how I wanted the next book on the shelf. Spell Begone, 1,000 release spells. But who knew what a release spell would really do? It could turn me into a deer or a toad. A breathing, hopping toad might be an improvement. I wondered if I was a beautiful statue or an ugly one. If I was beautiful and bore no resemblance to myself, no one would know what had become of me. If I was still ugly, everyone would know. I wanted to weep. It would be such a relief to weep. Or to sing. I'd never sing again. Mother and father would never stop grieving. I thought of the king. In a way, he was frozen too. I thought of Ajori. I couldn't stop thinking of him. My thoughts became as fixed on him as I was fixed in place. I thought of his ears, which Ivy disliked and I loved. I thought of his attachment to Uchu and to his uncle. I thought of his high opinion of me. What a fool he'd think me now. But if I had become beautiful, and not a statue, would he have loved me? Would he miss ugly me? My candle guttered out. I was in pitch darkness. Even the whippoorwill quieted. I had nothing except my thoughts. I heard a chirp, then a coo, and the rustle of feathers. The library became murky rather than inky. Dawn was coming. My scalp tingled, then it itched. I couldn't move to scratch it. The tingle spread to my forehead, followed by the itch, then to my nose. I began to feel the air go in and out. I was able to raise my eyebrows. Oh, how glorious to move my eyebrows! I'd never appreciated it before. The spell was wearing off. I felt fresh pain in my hand, then my thumb flew up and reattached itself. I could move my arms. I scratched my ribs. I held out my hands. They were still broad, still meaty, still mottled. I was certain my face was still ugly, but never mind. I was glad to be flesh and not stone. As I hurried through the sleeping castle, I felt something in my right slipper. In my chamber, I took off the slipper and my hose. My right pinky toe was cold marble, through and through. White marble, the same chalky color as my skin. I tried to massage the toe back to life, but it wouldn't revert. I poured water on it, hoping it would become malleable again, but it didn't. I wrapped my fingers around it. It grew warmer, but not softer. I stood and took several steps. It clicked on the wood floor beyond the rugs. It didn't chafe the toe next to it, but that toe was aware of it, the way you're aware if you tie a string around your finger. I couldn't spend the day hunched over my toe. I straightened and dressed. On my way to the banquet hall, I heard the jingle of Frying Pan's bracelets. 2 guards were half dragging her along. She was in shackles, her face was flushed, her hair was loose. She roared out a song as she went. Cook is a commoner, born in her kitchen. The queen is from Caria, a commoner from Caria. Cook goes to prison, queen goes to dinner. Who will be the cook? Isn't it an outrage? Isn't it a crime? The king is lying sick, the queen is sitting pretty. The queen is making havoc upon the hungry court. What's to eat tonight? Eggshells, pig hair, scum, muck, and slime. Isn't that a pity? Isn't that a crime? I learned later that Lady Arona had also been imprisoned. Ivy had surmised that the plates of scraps had been no mere prank, and that Lady Arona had laughed at her. Vengeance had been swift. Imprisoning 2 subjects wasn't as bad as dissolving the king's council, or refusing to help with the drought, but it felt as bad. It was so personal a use of power. She could have demanded a public apology from each of them. The humiliation would have been punishment enough. The next morning, Sir Inol, the physician, announced that the king's color had improved. The castle rang with song. Ivy asked me 3 times if I thought the king would like her gown. Twice she recited her favorite lines from the wedding song to her. She makes me laugh and cry. She wakes me up and makes me sing. After the second recitation, she said, Being a powerful queen is tiresome, Asa. Sometimes my head aches. I like much better to make Oscaro laugh and cry." But everyone's joy over the king's rally turned to sadness when he failed to progress further. Even the songbirds sang in a minor key. The castle fare deteriorated. Without frying pan, meals were late, the bread was stale, the cheese was moldy, roasts were undercooked or burned. One memorable cake was frosted with chicken fat. I received another letter from home, from father this time. Word had reached Amanta that Ivy had dissolved the king's council and had refused to aid those suffering from the drought. "Daughter," he wrote, "the mayor paid a visit to the feather bed this morning, and I believe every soul in the village has come to your mother or to me. They entreat you to persuade her majesty to reverse her apology. While I brought my boots to Odell to be mended, he sent his apologies if he'd ever been unpleasant to you. Several guests have said the same." I paused in my reading. I was surprised anyone felt guilt, and I couldn't help being pleased. They should have apologized long ago. "In Amanta, and here at the inn, those you know best are hopeful, because they're acquainted with your good heart. But among the others, anger against the queen runs high. Do your best, daughter. Your mother is becoming afraid." I had no idea how to answer him. Good hearts weighs nothing with the queen.